Katrien Devolder is a Senior Research Fellow at the Oxford Uehiro Centre for Practical Ethics. She joins us from Oxford in the UK. Katrien, thank you so much for your time. Have we just reached the moment where humans can be made without the contribution of a man or a woman?
We're close to that, but we're not there yet. So these embryo models don't really, at the moment, have the potential to develop into a full-grown human being. So if we would implant these models, they wouldn't develop into a baby. But at some point in the future, this might, of course, become possible.
So is this a Frankenstein moment, reminding the viewers that Frankenstein wasn't the monster? He was the doctor who created the monster.
Exactly. So I think an important question we have to ask ourselves is like, what limits should we set to that sort of research? Because these embryo models, they're not embryos at the moment, because they don't do exactly what embryos do. But at some point, like I said, they might be able to develop into a baby. So what implications does that have for the research conducted on these embryo models? Should we say as soon as they can develop into a baby, we should stop research on these embryos, or we should apply the same regulations that currently apply to embryo research? Or should we think differently about these entities and just see them as something different and look at different things like as long as they don't feel pain, it's fine to do research on these entities because they're not really embryos. As long as they don't have conscience, maybe it's fine to do research on them. It challenges us to think about what matters morally when we deal with these models.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're sort of indicating also the argument about when life begins, and that will probably never be resolved. It'll be an opinion-based issue. But how close are we to the moment where humans will find it completely natural to decide what their baby will be like? In other words, okay, the embryo shows that there's going to be a deformity at a certain part of the body, or there could be some other health issues. So we, the parents, will decide that we don't want those issues, so we want a modification made to the embryo.
Yeah, I think we can already do that a little bit with certain diseases that are determined by one gene, say, and then we can, if we create several embryos and we see that one embryo has a genetic defect that will result in a disease, we can just decide to not select that embryo and choose the other one and implant that one in the womb. So that's a way of choosing which child we'll bring into the world. Or if we discover that our fetus will develop a dangerous disease, then some people opt for abortion. So that's also already a way of selecting between different possible children you could have. So I think we're already to some extent choosing what sort of children we will have. But of course, the possibilities will increase. The options to use genetic modification will become a reality at some point. But the focus will first be on avoiding harmful diseases, I think. And I think it's a good thing that parents can try or choose to bring a child into the world that won't have a disease that it will suffer from.
Katrien, we have to leave it there. Time is always too short on every news bulletin. Katrien Devolder in Oxford University, thank you so much indeed. In Oxford, I should say.